One, two, three. Hello, and welcome to the first official SCADcast. Basically, we're here to talk about what SCAD is actually like before we actually attend SCAD. I'm your host, Zach, and with me this week is my cast, Jay,
Hello.
Dan,
Hey.
and some guy named Jack.
Hello. Don't forget about me.
Don't you forget about me. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so, let's dive right in. How did you guys hear about SCAD? It's going to be our first topic. Jay, if you'd like to start us off.
Oh, how did I find out about SCAD?
Yeah.
I had I forget the actual title of her job, but her job was to help me find colleges that were compatible with me and with what I wanted to do. And she suggested SCAD and Ringling,
Oh,
and I checked out SCAD first and instantly fell in love with it. And I literally just found out because someone was like, "Hey, this is a college that does the thing that you want to do," and I was like, "Cool."
oh, nice. So, yeah, that's definitely one of the cooler things. I was like,
Yeah, the good things about SCAD is that they offer classes in very specific roles, like writing for games, for example, which is what I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they always give students like all the opportunities to do whatever, you know, stuff like that. Jack, how did you find out about it?
My counselor uh, told me, how I was interested in the arts and how I'm very much into illustrating, and she recommended me to look into SCAD uh, during a college fair. She showed me to the representative, and he or she just gave me a bunch of pamphlets and told me all about SCAD, and I fell in love with it too. It was just I was just just amazed by all of it.
Yeah, it really does kind of feel like you found your own personal Hogwarts whenever you look at SCAD, doesn't it?
I wouldn't say Hogwarts, but yeah, there's something like that fits so right into what you want to learn.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Dan? Because you don't live in the United States. I know Jack
No,
didn't either.
no, I'm an international student from Russia, but
Yeah. Actually, just to clarify,
I,
Jack doesn't. Jack didn't live in the United States either. You lived in.
The Netherlands when I
Yeah,
found out about SCAD.
yeah. So I should have clarified that beforehand for Jack too.
Fine,
so
I should have
at one
mentioned it
point,
myself.
what? Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Dan,
okay.
the were you saying?
All right. So about 2 years ago, I was studying in Malta, and I really wanted to be a journalist. But at some point, I realized that it wasn't for me at all, and I kind of basically had to rethink my entire strategy in choosing universities and stuff. Like because I started wanting to become like a game designer or a writer for games, as I previously mentioned. So basically I had to frantically search online for best universities for game design, and I noticed that SCAD was popping up quite often. So I looked up a bit more into it, and I really, well, I also fell in love with it. Like I saw how many positions there were available, and basically it just looked like a really good college. It felt like too good to be true, but basically I just wanted to find out more about it. That's that's how I found SCAD.
Nice. Yeah, mine was a little bit different because at one point I was actually like, "This has to be a ripoff, right?" Because I,
Same thing, really.
yeah, well, I was looking at the Princeton.
Well, sorry. Like that
Yeah.
thing. Has anyone heard of Full Sail University? It's like that thing that they advertise so much on the internet.
Oh my God, they've emailed me 3 times this month saying, "Hey, we got your application." I haven't emailed them an application.
I don't
I
know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I did, but I somehow shut off all emails that I get from them, and now Full Sail does not contact me.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know
been
what this
wonderful.
wholesale
It
is.
It's a
contacted me a couple times, but it doesn't really anymore. But the I hear about it the most from YouTubers or something like that, like from people who advertise.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought it was a scam like a different way because I was looking at the Princeton Review to see like what the top 25 game design programs were. And SCAD was one of them, and I was like, That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I think I looked at the same time. Really.
Yeah, but whenever I went to go Google it, it only showed one building of SCAD, and I was like, oh, what? Seems a little small. Like I want a small school, but I don't want a tiny school.
And then you found out it was like a bunch of different schools.
I didn't find out until about 3 months later. I
Wow.
I literally just said no, I don't want to go here, and
The rep guy told me it was a bunch of different campuses.
yeah, well that's actually funny because I ended up looking at more to SCAD because they sent me an email. They were like, "Hey, we have a information event going on. We'd love to have you." So I went in and they started talking about SCAD, and I'm like, "Oh, it's an actual school. It's not one tiny building with a bunch of computers." Okay, yeah,
Tiny building with a bunch of computers. Wow.
that was literally my perception of it for like 3 months. So I honestly didn't even like want to go to SCAD based on like the Google image search. So yeah. Uh, anyways, yeah, that was my experience. Um, I'm pretty sure we all kind of went over with that why we decided to go to SCAD. But does anybody have anything else they wanted to add?
Well, not exactly. You want to
So,
talk?
kind of, SCAD has been my dream school since like the day I discovered it, and what's really kind of, I guess, interesting maybe, is that I discovered it around the time I got out of a mental hospital. Is probably the best term for people to understand what it is, but it's like it was essentially like a mental hospital, and that was like I discovered SCAD like around the time I got out of it, and so like I've always kind of attributed SCAD to just almost completely turning my life around and getting so like I don't really remember much about how I found out about it, more of around kind of like what part of my life I got like I found out about it, and yeah, it's arguably the weirdest time of my life was around the time I discovered like one of the greatest colleges ever, and that's always something. I know a friend of mine always thought that was the weirdest thing to hear about.
Yeah, SCAD's always had like
Uh,
that effect on people from what I could tell. Like they see it and it's this perfect vision of where they want to be in terms of like art or computer design or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
even though I fell in love with it, I was never sure I was gonna actually make it to the campuses in the United States, because when I was living in the Netherlands, I didn't know for sure if we were gonna stay in Europe after I graduated.
Yeah,
So
same thing here.
Yeah.
Really, it's always been like either I go to a college in America, or I go to a college in Russia, or I go to the army or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
most of my time when I was thinking about SCAD, I was more looking into colleges in the UK and in Europe, and I know there was one in Lacoste, in France
I
for
think
SCAD, but
it's
I
like a
would
holiday thing though.
yeah, it's more of like summer workshops
Yeah.
Right.
rather than anything else. So that was not an option. But then yeah, I found out that my father got a promotion, and we had to move to the United States, so
Mm.
Yeah.
I applied for
That's-
the one here in Savannah.
So it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out in the
And
end.
from what I've heard from a bunch of different people, the Savannah campus is the best campus. Like,
Well, it's the OG campus.
Yeah.
exactly. And like I know people have been like, oh, maybe the like Atlanta campus is nice, and anyone I've talked to who's ever been to Atlanta and Savannah have both been like, yeah, no, the Atlanta one is awful
Really?
Yeah,
It's awesome.
compared to Savannah.
funny
Huh.
story. So I said I wanted to find out more about it. So, and I got the chance last year. I went to the United States to look at a bunch of universities, And basically, we took a car in LA and we drove all the way to New York and looked at all the schools in between that we wanted to go to.
Oh wow, that's a huge
Yeah,
drive. What is that, like a
yeah,
week?
that was, I think, 10 days, and it was like 12-hour drive
Jeez.
each day. But I don't regret it. It was amazing.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
anyway, at one point we stopped in Atlanta, and we thought the Scout was in Savannah, like it's in the name. But then we drove by, and I see like a building, like an inconspicuous building, gray, nothing interesting about it, and I see Scad, and we were just like, my mom and I, we just looked at each other like, what the hell? And then she starts arguing with me that no, this Scad is in Atlanta, it's not in Savannah, and I was sure it was in Savannah. So in the end, we decided to drive to Savannah anyway. Like, what is it? 3-hour drive, 2-hour drive
I
from
think it's
Atlanta.
about 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So we drove there. Like, I convinced her to drive, but and she said that if it didn't have Scad in Savannah, then she would be super mad at me. But then we actually went there to Savannah, and we booked a tour at the last minute, and then I discovered that Scad in Savannah was amazing. Like, they take all these old buildings from the 19th century and they repurpose it into campuses.
Yeah.
That was like that was amazing for me.
Yeah, that's
I think
And
that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite things about SCAD is like they don't tear down old buildings; they just repurpose it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
plus-
super cool because like-
I know that in the one in Hong Kong, they repurposed the jail into.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
think
shit, yeah.
I think
Classroom.
Monty Hall is also a coffin factory. Like that's what it used to be. Yeah.
Seriously?
Also,
Yeah.
I always thought it'd be more useful for me to transfer to the Atlanta campus later on, but now that I heard this, because I want to go more into the industry, and since Atlanta is more closer to more
Yeah.
industry people, it's just
Yes. So I'm gonna touch on a few things real quick. Dan said like he got a tour at the last minute. That's actually one of the cool things that SCAD does is they have daily tours. That's like one of the jobs you can get for student employment is student ambassador. And basically you just walk around and give people tours throughout the
Yeah,
day.
we either had a junior or a senior on our tour.
Yeah, and it's really cool to be able to like talk to the people who are going there and just visit and see all the different big things.
Yeah, a big part of what really made me look into Scad was that I talked to a bunch of students. My mom and I, we talked to a bunch of students, and they all like wholeheartedly recommended it to me.
Yeah.
That was kind of a part of my decision. But another part was that I really, really, really liked Savannah as a city and the campus. So that like instantly put it into the top 3 picks.
Oh yeah, it's great. If you like,
Savannah is a really beautiful city.
we were all just so ready to talk about something. Okay.
We're wasting valuable time.
Yes, we are. Okay. Anyways,
Brandon's great.
so we were just on Dan. Jay, you said that you like SCAD because it kind of turned your life around, or right when your life turned around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It appeared in a time where my life kind of turned around.
Yeah. Like I'm
Give
actually
me 1 second. I need to go through the drive-through real quickly.
drive-through. What?
Drive-through.
Are you
What the
serious?
Is he in the car right now?
He's in the car.
This is staying in.
That is very professional.
Driving a number 6 half-pound, large fries, and a large Pepsi.
Wait, are you serious? I thought
You're a professional, aren't you?
Oh my god.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Okay. At least mute yourself.
Do you like fries with that?
Oh god.
Can we keep this?
Yes,
Can we
we're
not?
keeping this. We're keeping every single bit of that. Okay. Anyways, yeah, it was actually funny because I decided I want to go to SCAD, like, getting back on subject here. I decided I wanted to go to SCAD when I changed my life around. Because originally, I wanted to go into the military. Like, I was JROTC gung-ho kind of person.
Mhm.
And then we took a trip to Paris Island. For people who don't know, that's the main Marine Corps recruitment base for the United States military. And it sucks. Like, brave men and women are made there. I'm not one of them. I could just say that right now. I am not one of them.
Let's
Well, they talk
say-
about how this is like a really awesome military base, and you're like, wow, it sucks.
Well, no, anybody who's like gone there and trained, they'll tell you it sucks. But the drill instructors, all those people, amazing people. I salute them. But that's kind of when I learned I didn't want to go into that line of work. So I thought, hey, maybe I should make games. I've always wanted to.
That's a great transition.
It was like a hard just turn into it. But yeah, I kind of like learned the industry and learned about SCAD. And whenever I went to go visit, I actually visited SCAD Atlanta first. And when I walked in and I saw all the stuff that they had, I was like, wow, this is amazing.
I think the most impressive thing there was we went for Scad Day, and on our way out, we stopped by this super good New Orleans restaurant.
Oh
and
my.
there's amazing food in Savannah. And I've just been like, oh my god, the food's amazing. Perfect.
Yeah, there's so many good foods in Savannah. I went on vacation with my friends, and we had one of the best burgers I've ever had in my life in Savannah.
Me and my family went to like eat lunch, like near the port, or would you call it the pier? I don't know.
Speaking of eating,
There's a Riverwalk, I think you might be talking about.
The river walk. That's
Yeah.
the thing. We walked around all over, and then just went to a nice little restaurant and just had the nicest meal with the most beautiful view.
Nice.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, no,
oh yeah, the
like
views in
you're gonna,
Savannah. Oh.
yeah, you're gonna enjoy Savannah. Viewer, you're gonna enjoy Savannah.
Yeah, I know Jay and I had a good time walking around with our ponchos and everything.
We had a good time.
Yeah. Also, Jay, do you want to elaborate on what the SCAD Day is for people who don't know or like haven't
Like
heard
me.
much about SCAD? Yeah, like Dan.
Thank you.
Oh right,
Are you
he's getting
speaking
food.
for
God
right
damn.
now?
Yeah, sorry about that.
We're-
Hey,
Getting
guys.
food.
Of all the things I could have predicted for this podcast, I would have never predicted Jay was getting food.
Jay is a fucking wild card. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Jay is a wild card.
I was like, we're gonna
Yeah.
lose audio, like somebody's gonna get disconnected, the mob will show up and shoot Jack. I mean,
Nope,
Staring
this
like a
idiot
sailor.
decided he was hungry.
okay. Jay, do you want to elaborate or do you want me to on SCAD
On
Day?
Scad Day?
Yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know, which would probably be like people looking at SCAD right now, SCAD Day is you go and you kind of do like a really early orientation type thing, and then you stay the night in the dorm.
No, that's
And
the
it's
Summer
super
Swarm.
fun.
That's the Summer
Oh,
Swarm.
Summer Swarm.
Yeah, no,
Scad
you're
Day-
talking about
Scad
Summer
Day-
Swarm. Yeah.
SCAD Day was just like a general tour of SCAD. You got to like talk to some of the professors, and you got to talk to like the students, and then like they split you up into like groups where you visited a bunch of different buildings. But if like your major was based in Monty, you would be put in a group that would go to Monty at some point.
Yeah, and Monty Hall is the game design building and animation studio. Like, they have a bunch of computers and people basically spend their lives there.
I'm really looking forward
Super
to
cool building.
working with the Cintiqs most.
Yeah.
You know, the Cintiqs, they're like the drawing
Ours looks really
tablets,
good.
but they have screens on them so you can see what you're drawing.
Oh, yeah, they have a ton of those
I
there.
think most people who are artists know a bit about Wacom tablets.
About what?
Wacom tablets.
Yeah, Wacom. It's the company that makes drawing tablets.
Okay. I thought you said Wacko, and I was like, the place in Texas, Waco.
Waco? What?
Super confused for a minute. Okay.
Yeah, but the best way I can describe SCAD Day, me describing it, is it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. Like if you have an open world, because they'll show you like all the places you should go, and you can select different tours throughout the day. Like you can visit the dorms, or you can visit Monty, like Jay was saying. Yeah,
Monty, super cool building.
really is.
Like awesome.
Yeah, it's the coffin
I
factory one.
think I've been there.
Yeah, Monty Hall is like way out there. Like it's a bit far from the main campus of SCAD, but luckily they have the bus system, so you don't have to worry too much. Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me look up an image of like where it's at real quick. But yeah, SCAD Day, pretty cool.
So if you're thinking about going to SCAD, do yourself a favor and go to SCAD Day.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because
Passing.
I wouldn't have wanted to go to SCAD if I didn't go to SCAD Day. I even went to the Atlanta campus for SCAD Day on my first one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, you
Yeah.
went to both campuses? To the Savannah and Atlanta one, or?
Yeah, yeah. I gotta say, a lot of people say that there's a really big difference, and there is, because there's about 2 buildings where you can have your classes in Atlanta, and Savannah's just got all of them everywhere.
Yeah.
And like, and with any college that has like satellite campuses like that, the OG is always going to be like infinitely better.
True.
Like, yeah, you just can't like beat the original campus, no matter what the college is. And like, I don't want to say that the Atlanta campus is awful and that it's just like absolute crap, because like, it's it's a good campus, and again, it's SCAD, so it's a good college.
Yeah.
However, in comparison to the original campus, like compared to actual Savannah, it's not as good.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to have people think that I'm sitting here like crapping all over the Atlanta campus. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful campus.
Yeah, it's just Atlanta.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a fine city. It's pretty clean. Like, I went to one of their parks at like 11 o'clock at night one time, because I'm an insane person.
Not get shot?
Because
Yeah,
every
Atlanta at 11 at night. How are you not dead right now? Please explain this to me.
I went to Centennial Park. That's where I went for the for my little walkabout in Atlanta. I went to Centennial Park. All the streets were pretty clean. All the lights were working, and it was pretty nice city. It's definitely growing. It's got a lot of construction going on. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I only
it's
visit the
It's
like
becoming a new media
the
empire.
very center. Like,
yeah.
I only visit the CNN museum. That's it. And yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Atlanta's a beautiful city.
not
I
much
just
about
prefer
Atlanta,
Savannah.
really.
Yeah, because I feel like there's not as much to walk around and do in Atlanta as there's Savannah, because there's a hipster coffee shop you can look at in Savannah, like anywhere.
There are a lot of hipster coffee shops in Savannah. I don't want to hear just
It's an art school. I mean, where do the graduates go?
Exactly. If you're going to an art school or like an art town, there's going to be quite literally a million hipster coffee shops.
And a
everywhere.
million secondhand stores, too.
Yeah, I was.
Exactly.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
secondhand stores. I am obsessed with them.
Yeah,
Give me something like Walmart, I'll be fine.
I cannot even remember what we were talking about.
We were talking about.
We were talking about SCAD Day, and then
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
SCAD Day.
I think we went over it.
I think we wanted
Pretty
to.
well, yeah.
I think we were mainly talking about like what did you.
What else did we like about SCAD?
I think.
did we say the food?
The food. I'm
Never tried
to be
the food
honest.
at SCAD, so.
When I was in the summer seminars, I really didn't. I was stuck in the
Maybe
outside the. I was in the other place because like they. I don't remember how to say it. One of the cafes just like.
go forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe not like the school food itself, but like the food in and around. So.
Yeah, the Savannah food's
the food
good.
around Savannah is just delicious.
Yeah. Also, I found it on my little list. I think I was trying to do like what did you like about SCAD to make you want to go to it. So, yeah, that would be it. Yeah, I mean, basically, it's just everything about the school is great.
Yeah, what I like about it, the 98% of graduates are deployed 10 months after graduating. That's phenomenal.
That's an
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's also a 66.6 graduation rate, so it's hard to graduate.
Well, there's a lot of people who like transfer or people who quit because it's a bit too hard. Because legitimately, SCAD is a tough program, from what I've heard.
Yeah, no. As
I've done
harder.
harder.
That is, it's going to be a challenge, and we're going to need to like pedal to the metal constantly. But it's going to be 1,000% worth it in the end.
True.
Always worth it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's always worth it if you like put as much
Put in
effort
the
as
effort.
possible into it.
If you really, really want to go to the school, you gotta put in the effort.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna want to put in the effort. If
and,
you
and just as
actually
an
like-
go to the school.
yeah,
And
just
it's
as
not
a,
like high school when they force you to do things that you don't want to.
yeah, and just as an
Like
FYI
you're
to
actually
everybody,
going to study something that you like.
just as an FYI to everybody who's listening to this, all three of you, um, we are not attending SCAD. This is our pilot. We are kind of talking about our pre-SCAD experience. Like in a few weeks, we're going to actually be there and producing this at the SCAD studios. So we don't know 100% what it's like being there, except for secondhand sources.
Jay, mute
Come
yourself.
on.
Or the new.
Come on, man.
Oh, God.
Bob would love to eat your dinner.
Oh,
He's a good dog.
is there a way for like me to mute him? Oh, no, he
You
muted
can.
himself.
No, Dan can.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
no.
it's fine. Anyways, I was saying words about how,
Oh right, I'm an admin of the chat, right?
yeah, that's true. He's fine. He seems to be composing himself pretty well with that. Anyways, yeah, just FYI to everybody, we are not attending SCAD yet. We're 2 weeks away from it. This is just our experience getting into SCAD and visiting, doing summer seminars, summer swarm, all that kind of stuff, you know? Speaking of which,
The
that
early.
what?
I'm sorry, I was saying to myself the early stuff.
Yeah, exactly, the early stuff, you know? Because a lot of people might just stumble upon this podcast and think, oh, what's SCAD like? It's a bunch of bumbling idiots trying to explain life through art. And Jay.
Hmm.
And Jay ordering food.
Jay eating them food.
Yeah. So, I'm going to transition to my next topic. I assume Jay will probably come back in the middle of it, but what was it like getting accepted? For, yeah. Jack, do you want to go first?
Oh,
You seem pretty excited.
okay, my story. So I was in the middle of winter exams for my school. Just super tough. Like my last day of exams.
In which, country was this in?
In the Netherlands. I was in the International School of Amsterdam.
Okay, cool.
It was super tough school because it was an IB program, and I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like in the middle of studying, and then I said I'm gonna take a break and check my email. There it is, admissions letter. There, I just got excited because that was the first one I applied to, and it was the first one to accept me, like super quick. As soon as my papers just got in to the server, I got accepted right away.
That's just great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they do have that little feature where you can sign into your own personal account thing, and they'll update you automatically as soon as things get in, like your ACT scores or SAT scores or high school
Yeah.
transcripts. Yeah.
The only thing that I had to do was do my TOEFL, which is because I'm not. Because if you're not a native English speaker, you have to do that or I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. But that
Yeah.
app is definitely very useful. It's actually more like a website, I think.
It's more like a mobile version of the website without actually going to the website.
Yeah, where you can just sign in and be like, well, am I accepted yet? How long did it take for you, Jack? Just out of curiosity.
Less than a week.
Less than a week?
Well, yeah, because I sent my transcripts the same, but I was always in contact with a bunch of like advisors and things like that.
Okay, I've got a different part of my story, but before mine, Dan, Jay, do either of you guys have interesting stories about how you got accepted?
I do. So, it was in April. It took Jack less than a week. It took me about 4-5 months, maybe. I don't know. Well, because the documents thing and everything was really complicated for me. So
I think it depends on how fast the mail is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the mail in Russia is really not that fast, to put it lightly. So, I was feeling very down in the dumps because a bunch of universities were rejecting me. Like, I kept getting rejection letters left and right,
Oh
and
no.
I was feeling like I wasn't good enough to be accepted into like an American university. But then I was standing in line at a Mexican food truck, and I was ready to order when I looked up at my phone and I saw an email from admission, and I was accepted. And just as I realized it, I was breathless and I couldn't say anything. But then my turn came and I had to order, but I couldn't say anything, and I just kept staring at
Oh,
the guy like with a really goofy grin on my face, and
that's awesome.
he thought it was weird or something. But then I ordered after like recovering for a minute there.
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah, I can
My
just picture
acceptance
that.
story is significantly less exciting.
Don't worry, Jay. You can just eat something. What'd you get, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Fast
You
food.
got curly fries.
I got whoever wants to sponsor this podcast.
Fair
You
enough.
got curly fries. I don't know how many places have curly fries.
Okay. So, anyways, Jay, what was your story like?
I sent in my application, and like, I think the day, or I think it was probably around a week. Maybe not definitely not like under a week. Probably like around a week.
Right.
Before like they had officially accepted me into the system, they called my mom and said, your son has been accepted into Savannah College of Art and Design. And then my mom called me in the middle of the school day as I am talking to a group of my friends. And I was in the middle of, at that time, I was working in retail at Toys R Us. And I was in the middle of telling them this really funny story about a kid trying to break the glass to get to the video games behind the glass.
Oh my god.
That's
I
a
wanna
whole
hear that
thing in and of
story.
itself.
Yeah.
And I was in the middle of talking about it, and I get a call. And of course, I'm in the middle of this thing. So it's like, I need to not like break too quickly, or otherwise the story will like lose its momentum and then it just won't be as funny. And so then I'm like super impatient. My mom's like, you got accepted into this college. I'm like, thank you, great. Can I please get back to school right now? So I finished the story. And so then I was like, so I finished it, and it hadn't lost too much momentum. They enjoyed it, I think. Then one of them was like, oh, what was that call about? And I was like, yeah, I got accepted into my dream college. And they were all like, really? Surprisingly okay with this. And I was like, it happened. And the girl I was dating at the time was a grade below me and super against me having a job, super against me going to college.
Oh.
And I went and told her, and she started crying, and it was this whole thing. And almost as if to only add insult to injury, a good friend of mine came over and was like, I heard the great news. That's awesome. You're leaving us, and you're never coming back. And I was like, okay. It's the worst.
Just throwing some salt in the
So
wound.
funny. I was crying later. Oh, it was awesome.
Oh gosh. I'm actually not sure if I can follow up that one.
No, that's a really good
Don't
story.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was after my first SCAD day, they walked me over and they were like, hey, do you want to apply? And I'm like, well, now I do, because this was my first time I actually got to see SCAD. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, sign me up. So, about a month or two goes by, and they're like, oh, you just haven't got your ACT scores yet. And I'm like, oh, did you hurry up, please? Because I'm in the same boat as Dan. It took months to get it up there. And
Your score didn't come through. Excuse me. Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
It's like, chill, dude.
Yeah, because I did my SCAD day in like mid-spring or something, like before my AP exam, so probably April, and it didn't get through until July, and I was constantly refreshing that website I was talking about earlier, where you could see like all the things that get in and whether or not you're accepted.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Hey, you know what? I haven't seen the campus, the Savannah campus. Let's go check it out." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." Because for me, it's only about a 4-hour drive away. It's pretty long, but it's not like you can't.
You could do a
You,
road trip and
yeah,
leave their bikes sundown.
yeah, we did like a date. Actually, no, we did like a day trip. We got up at like 5, drove down there, and we did a tour. Yeah, it was a pretty good day. Then afterwards, they said, "Oh yeah, so anybody who's applied, you can sit down with an advisor." My dad and I sat down, and she's like, "Well, first off, congratulations on your acceptance." And I'm like, "What? What the?"
That was quick.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what to say, because I was refreshing it all morning to see if I got accepted. Yeah. I guess Scad just wanted to go for the.
I know how you feel. Like I was always worried like my papers wouldn't come through.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I know the night after I got accepted, I was lying in bed and like my feet were kicking and I was like rolling around. I was just super excited. Did anyone else act like an idiot?
Oh my
No,
god, like.
I ran to my mother and screamed at her, "I got accepted." This is Scad.
Yeah, same thing.
I don't imagine
Yeah.
like excited screaming. I imagine like you're in the
Insane
horror movie
screaming.
screaming at your mother. She's like, what happened? I don't know how to handle this.
Yeah, my dad was like, "Oh, let's celebrate." We went to Mellow Mushroom, and like, I managed to bypass the whole waiting thing because I was talking to my mom, and I'm like, "I got accepted. This is so fucking crazy. They could have done this like
I
2
love
weeks
how
ago."
your celebration is mellow mushroom.
Dude, Mellow Mushroom's amazing.
Oh, I'm not denying it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Um,
Pizza.
For the people that don't know, Mellow Mushroom's a pizza place, and basically they have 3 ingredients, 4 ingredients: crust,
Perfection, love, and amazingness.
crust, sauce,
Mhm.
cheese, and grease.
Yep.
They literally just dump the grease on there.
Like they actually have John Travolta singing on your pizza.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's
How many times
delicious.
does he deny being gay?
Do you even have to deny now? Like, I don't think you
I
have
don't
to
think nobody
deny.
cares.
Yeah. Because the College Humor did like a whole video about that, where it's like, hey, I'm gay. Yeah, like,
Oh yeah,
nobody
when
really
coming out
minded.
goes better than you thought. Yeah, and no one cares.
Yeah, everybody's like super chill with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so that was my getting accepted story. They just sat down and said, "Congratulations." Completely blindsided me. I'm positive that I got accepted like a week before, but they saw that I was scheduled to go, and they wanted to do the dramatic reveal.
How funny would it be if you had been accepted like the day afterwards? Like, let's mess with
It's like, you know what? We got to look through everything, but I think you got a good chance. And they just accept me the next day. Yeah.
So when I applied, my GPA was like it was a good amount under that like average that they accept, and my like ACT score was like right on the line. So like, did any of you have like parts of the application process where you looked at it and you were like, this doesn't meet what they need?
Did you?
I think my portfolio. I was stressing out about my portfolio.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Actually, yeah.
I was
Let's.
worried to
Because
get
it's
the
the only
portfolio
subjective
just
part.
right.
Actually, yeah. Let's talk about that. Like, so when you're doing the application, SCAD has 2 main parts. They have like your grades and everything, and they have your portfolio that you send in. And me personally, I actually got in based off of my grades because, originally I wanted to do military and all that, so I had good grades beforehand. So I kind of knew I was getting in, but it was still really exciting. And as Jay just mentioned, so did you have a good portfolio, Jay?
Oh,
Yeah.
So my portfolio was a running portfolio, and as soon as I heard, they were like, okay, we need so my grades were not good, and
Yeah.
Brad will probably come up at some other point or whatever. Like They so that I've had to get a letter of explanation as to why my grades weren't up to par. Then I had another thing of like what I wanted to do with going to SCAD,
Right.
and I didn't get accepted because of portfolio. I got accepted because of those two. And as soon as I heard, oh, you need to write these two things, and then we'll tell you if you're accepted or not, I was like, okay, done. And this is going to make me sound like a really cocky and pretentious D-bag.
Welcome to SCAD.
Yeah.
Alternate name for
exactly.
this podcast.
I have had, I took 30 creative writing classes in high school.
Oh, wow.
And I had one teacher twice and another teacher just once. And both of them said that I was easily one of the best writing students either of them had ever had. So as soon as I heard that there was a writing portion to the acceptance process, I was like, okay, done. I'm in the college already. Cool. So that is legitimately the only reason why I got accepted, was because they were like, hey, write these two things. Otherwise, I would not be going to SCAD. Like, that just wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, that's just awesome.
I didn't get accepted because of my portfolio, because I didn't even know how to send all of it.
I'm actually kind of in the same boat. I wasn't confident enough in my work.
Oh no, I was
Me
confident in my
neither.
work. I just didn't have my portfolio done at the time.
Well, I at least was confident. Jack was confident. I wasn't.
I was confident in my work, but I hadn't had it finished yet because I still had a few works in progress.
What type of
Right.
portfolios did you guys do?
I did
I did
time.
I
illustration.
had a bunch
I did a
of media
art.
because
Okay,
Was
Jack.
it time?
Yeah, they have like a time-based portfolio where you can submit like a 3 to 5 minute video. And I did one where I explained like the level design of my games and like how I use that to influence player choice rather than yeah,
Okay.
really.
What went through my head was you sending them a clock.
It's like
I
I
was
made
like,
this.
I thought there was like a progression from your artwork from shitty to good, like a year.
They
You
actually
No,
recommend that you do something similar. Actually, no, they recommend that you do your
no,
best
they
work.
recommend you have a bunch of original artwork, of
Yeah,
course. But you know what? I tried to do my art very varied, as varied as I could.
yeah,
Like no single piece was the same medium or genre that in my
Nice.
portfolio, just to show how
I-
varied I am.
nice.
Jack did art. Zach sent a clock. Dan, what did you do?
So, I had no idea how to do any of the portfolio stuff, especially for American universities, because like almost throughout the entire school, experience, 11 years, I've been preparing for Russian universities, but then like I had no idea on what to do for American universities, so I decided to dazzle them, and just I drew so much, I wrote so much, and then I picked out the best drawings I've got. The funniest thing was that none of the stuff I did for school made it into the portfolio. Only the stuff that I did for myself in my spare time, just for fun, basically. All
Right.
that stuff went into the portfolio, and I just picked out like the short stories I wrote, the drawings I made, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, because you can do like combined
Yeah.
styles of portfolios. Like I could have set in like 5 illustrations that I did plus the 2 to 4 minute timepiece where it's like a video. Yeah, they definitely let you play to your strengths that you have rather than just one specific section.
It's really cool hearing about other people's portfolios, because I really have only really heard about mine and Cindy's.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, game
Mine-
design, I thought I could send in like my game, I was hoping.
mhm.
But they
Yeah.
were like, it's a video, and I'm like, crap, what am I supposed to do?
You could have sent the demo.
You
of
could
your
you could
video.
send them a let's play.
Yeah, actually, that was one of my original ideas. It was going to be like a React video. I was going to send them
I
that.
mean, it's a solid strategy.
Yeah. No, I did like what's that one website where they'll show you, it's like Khan Academy, I think,
Yes.
Yeah.
Khan
Khan
Academy.
Academy.
I did that
Not
where
like your high
basically
school.
it was like a reel of a character moving through my game or a player moving through my game, and I would like have moments where it freeze frames, and
Oh
I
my
would
god.
and I would
yeah,
kind of
that
like
one.
draw out like all the different design aspects and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So
So I'm assuming these took you guys like a ridiculously long amount of time to like finish and do. Like I'm
Oh.
assuming this guy's took you guys like weeks, right?
oh my
Well,
gosh, Unreal Engine
month,
takes forever to load on my computer.
month to a year,
Yeah,
Okay.
or
I
days.
I just
Depends
brought
on
like
the-
a bunch of random pieces that I did, but the short stories took the longest.
Yeah.
Ironically.
No, but like total to do your whole entire portfolio, this probably took you guys
Took
like
me a
long
year.
time.
Okay.
Took
Well,
me
okay.
8 months.
If I calculate the time that I did on each individual drawing and story, I submitted 20 in total. So I guess it would be like a month of actual work time, maybe.
Remember, okay, when you're doing your portfolio, remember to do 1,000 characters for each of your works, or at least your best works, because I did
1,000 characters.
for my
But I
third,
mean, like
for my
explanations.
13, yeah.
Oh no, I didn't do that. I just like
I
really.
did
just
that
explained
for
what
every
mediums
single
I
one
did
of
it
my
in.
artworks.
Yeah.
Here's where you guys are
Most
gonna
of my
want to punch me
artworks
in the
were
throat.
character designs.
Yeah.
And so I just explained like the premise of the design and the medium, and that's it. It was like maybe a paragraph or less for
Right.
each.
I see. Okay, Jay, you're up next.
Yeah, here's where you guys are gonna absolutely hate me. I cranked my portfolio out in 2 nights. I wrote the whole thing. I made
What did you do for it?
He did a
3
writing,
edits to it.
is what he said.
I
Yeah.
wrote I wrote 3 edits, and I didn't give any of the characters names. It's 2 characters. It's 1 conversation, no names, and I did that in about 2 nights and sent.
Oh, you're just a regular Harlan Nelson, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know if you
Really?
guys. Yeah, I don't know if you guys hate me or not. I mean, I think I spent like in total about 3 weeks on my portfolio because my portfolio wasn't the strong part. It was actually my grades. I went in based off of that.
Well, it was kind of. I think it was exam scores and the portfolio. My grades are okay, but I never really, depended on them.
Yeah,
That's the correct word.
yeah,
I was a very average student.
I was pretty up
Same.
there actually.
Okay, puppy, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually thought I wouldn't fit in whenever I got to SCAD because I had higher grades. I know that more
Good
creative people
boy.
tend to have
Good
lower
puppy.
grades and better work. And I was like, oh no, nobody's gonna like me. They're gonna think I'm a stupid nerd. You guys like me, right?
Yeah, I like you.
Yeah, sure.
No, I'm
Philip.
messing.
You're alright.
What happened?
I mean, I'm probably gonna start hating you because we're suit mates and we're gonna have to live together.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
true.
So, anyways, back
Have you guys seen
to
my
we
Instagram?
no, I haven't.
Your Instagram.
Is it a bunch of Pokemon fan
Your
fiction?
Instagram's a joke, Jay.
I literally forgot it existed for like the longest time. My sweet mate had to remind me that I had an Instagram, and I was like,
I
oh,
reminded you.
really? Yeah, exactly.
That's
I
crazy.
wanted
Okay, so we've been at this for almost an hour. We talked about how we found SCAD, what we liked, why we decided to go, what was like getting in, and our portfolios. Did anybody else have anything else they want to talk about?
Not exactly. Oh, yeah. I didn't have the best advisor.
Yeah.
She took forever to respond to any of my queries.
Yeah. Well, I think that is
And-
actually let me explain what the advisors are. So, as soon as you get accepted as SCAD,
any college, really.
yeah, like even before you enroll, like pay the enrollment fee, you get an admissions advisor. These are people who take care of you, let you know what you still need to submit, if there's any financial aid forms that you need. Mine was actually pretty good.
Yeah, mine was
Yeah.
good.
But my first one, I had to have 2. My
Yeah.
first one was not really. It was not good. I'm not mentioning
Yeah.
their name just because I don't want them. I don't know if they're still working for the school.
Yeah.
But yeah, my advisor took weeks to days to weeks to respond to any of my emails,
Oh
and
wow.
even then they misinformed me.
Yeah, I use them to like help me figure out what events were going on. Like besides all the standard getting into school stuff. Yeah.
I emailed my advisor 2 times.
Wow.
I probably emailed mine every single week because I had lots of dumb questions and they answered all of them, so I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess it kind of depends on what type of student you are. Like, I'm not very inquisitive. I wanted to be like surprised, and I wanted to be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted to get there and be like, oh wow, this is all so cool, and not have it all like spoiled for me. Like I wanted to get there and be like, this is a whole new experience. I know nothing about what's going on. This is amazing. It's an adventure. Instead of being there and be like, I know this, I know this, I know this.
So basically
Whatever.
Jon Snow in all of Game of Thrones.
Never seen Game of Thrones.
I'm not gonna say you should watch it, but
But I should
if there were to be a horse
It's
head,
actually good.
don't worry, Jay. I haven't
Yeah,
watched Game of
fine.
Thrones either.
I'm not.
We can just have a marathon.
You guys better sleep tight in your dorms.
Cindy is gonna force me to watch it though.
I'll be
Let's
with.
just have a viewing party in our suite. There we go.
There you go.
I'm
Okay. Anyways,
just-
we're getting off topic here. We're almost done.
Well, we could have just ended. Goodbye.
No.
Wow, what a nice ending.
Yeah.
See ya.
Fine. Why not? Okay, everybody. We'll be back next week with another pilot where we're all just kind of learning how to do this. I'll probably have a different cast because I don't like any of these people now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Screw you.
That's
Too.
No, like actually, one of our things is that we'll be switching cast so that we can get different perspectives. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week. Goodbye. Play
See ya.
outro
Bye.
music.
Don't forget to clap.
I mean, I'm about to end the recording.